As players, we often like to talk about what's Hitman's best maps or weapons and gear, but let's face it, when it comes to Hitman games, they only revolve around one thing, and that, as gruesome as it may seem, is killing people. No matter which map you're playing on, or what gear you've chosen for your mission, your one and only goal is to ultimately eliminate your target. Which is great, as IO Interactive has truly perfected the formula, and most targets have a vast majority of ways in which they can be eliminated, some of them very beginner friendly. Most, but not all. And today we'll be taking a look at that not all, the minority of targets who are so unwieldy and broken that they aren't just difficult to beat, but damn near almost impossible. Embrace of the Serpent from Santa Fortuna. Whatever people may like to say, Hitman 2 really was a massive step forward in terms of how IO understood freedom of approach and how to create a good map. We saw a lot of new, never before seen items and truly awesome targets filled with freedom of approach. So the question has to be asked, when it comes to Hitman 2's DLC missions, what the fuck happened here? I understand that IO really wanted to create a mission set in a jungle environment. It's a cool concept that we hadn't seen before in the newer Hitman games. However, the main problem comes from the map they chose to do it in. Santa Fortuna is Hitman 2's middle child, and because of that it was promptly ignored and barely given the development time it so desperately needed. The map itself is basically the Pips Show's version of Moroccan pasta, turned into a Hitman map. You have a mansion area, a fishing villa, a coca field, an underground base, a ruins area, a construction site, and finally the jungle area. It's like a fat guy's food plate in an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's a mess. But because of Hitman maps being restricted in size, all of those areas are much smaller than what they could be, and the jungle is easily the smallest area of all of them. An area that was originally never designed for anything more than traversal. It's extremely limited when it comes to freedom of approach. You have two small pathways leading to a small shack on one end, and an even smaller area filled with grass and bushes on the other. IO decided to create an entire Hitman mission taking place in that small area, and to compensate for its size, they overfilled it with armed guards on every single square inch. The target himself is followed by two guards at all times, and there's no safe places to naturally hide a body, especially since you can be seen from literally everywhere, since the area is so small and overfilled, which to IO's credit at least they acknowledged in the lore of the mission. Even worse, you not only have to take down the target, but then make your way into that small shack to steal a black book. There's a roaming guard inside the shack who's almost impossible to predict ahead of time, and armed guards on all sides looking directly at you, plus patrolling ones who can spot you before you've even tried to lockpick the door. It's just a living nightmare. Opportunities for elimination are very small and far between, and often you won't even get a chance to try and use them since you'll be so busy trying to run away from guards as they can hear you moving around in the bushes. Although the concept of the mission was an interesting idea, in the everlasting words of Casey Stoner, IO's ambition has completely outweighed their talent here. The Veteran in Bangkok. Now, back in 2016, IO Interactive, much like your average college girl, were doing a lot of experimentations, and let's just say, not all of them turned out okay. When it comes to the Veteran, IO had the bright idea of creating a never before seen target, one that has a completely randomized loop. Basically, there is no way to know ahead of time where he will go or what he will do after the mission starts. So it's impossible to prepare and come up with a plan to eliminate him. Now, some people may think, hey, that's kinda cool, as it means you have to think on the fly and come up with a plan right then and there. And I agree, the concept is cool, and it is executed to perfection in the Dartmoor Garden show. However, here, it is simply one of the worst ideas anybody could ever come up with. Firstly, because of the map it's taking place on. Bangkok is easily the second worst map in the entire Hitman trilogy. Freedom of approach is non-existent. And when you have a target who never isolates themselves, who has no luring opportunities like a mission story or any elimination opportunities on the places he visits, you just end up with a really unwieldy and, may I say, shitty target. One that requires a ton of setup in order to make work, but you can't set him up cause he has a random loop. And of course, some idiot in the comment section will say, well, just use a seeker or throw an emetic grenade. But this target came out in early 2016, when none of those things existed. So how are you supposed to deal with him there? His only opportunity is to be taken down with a falling coconut, which is just so ridiculous. The random loop can make a cool target, but you need a great map with an incredible loop which has tons of freedom of approach, something that is completely missing here. If this was Red Dead Redemption 2 or Grand Theft Auto 5, I could almost understand, but to have such an incredibly limited target in a Hitman game is borderline shameful. And following his Sarajevo 6 brother, we have the mercenary in Colorado. Unlike the previous one where we had a possibly good idea just executed in a very poor manner, here, Isle's reinvention of the wheel continues, but this time with a horrible idea executed in the absolutely worst way possible. In the mercenary, you have a target who is surrounded by 4 fully armed guards at all times. They will follow him anywhere he goes, and here's the kicker, the target can follow us to our exact location if we're anywhere near his route's location. So basically, you have one of those Grand Theft Auto 5 cops who knows exactly where you're hiding, even though they have no way of knowing where you're hiding. And they're bringing 4 armed guards with them on the way as well. On the worst, most hostile map ever created in Hitman history. I mean, what could possibly go wrong here? There are no mission stories or accident kill opportunities. The game tells you that he can be killed by a falling haystack, but good luck trying that since he never goes even near the barn on his default route. The only real way to beat him is to try and glitch the game by playing with the rangefinder he has, and with luck try and get him to come alone for just long enough you have the time to deal with him before his guards show up. It's one of those trial and error situations where you just hope the game gives you the result you want. Otherwise, you just have to try again or blow him up with a propane flask, which is about as desperate as it gets. Not that I blame you, desperate times call for desperate measures, I understand. There's a reason IO has never come close to even try and recreating this formula. It sucked so bad this time that they decided maybe it's better off just being left in the past. But that's why this target isn't just bad, he's the worst target ever created in Hitman history, or at least that's what I thought, before I found the number 1. Number 1, the very worst target ever created in Hitman history is no other than the Prince, from Hitman 2016 Sapienza Elusive Targets. Now, it's my personal belief that whoever is responsible for designing this mission isn't just a complete and utter incompetent buffoon, but also a disrespectful little shit. And here's the reason why. First of all, in this mission we are being forced to kill a priest inside a church, which is already just so unnecessary and so disrespectful towards Christians for absolutely no damn reason. It's clear they've only taken this decision because they knew they could get away with it in modern day, which is just pathetic. And what makes it even worse is that not only is it just in bad taste and offensive, but it's also gameplay-wise just the shittiest, most awful put together mission / elusive target that has ever been created. And with over 40 elusive targets and up, you can imagine the territory that takes in. This mission was basically designed with the idiotic idea of making it as frustrating and mind-numbingly difficult as a mission could ever be. You have guards constantly patrolling across small areas, which are impossible to sneak through, and guards standing still and keeping watch in areas that should in no way be trespassing. Yet there are, and you will get spotted despite no one physically seeing you entering them. And that's not the worst part. The interior section is filled with guards to the brink. It's like a 12-year-old edgelord has designed this map as his custom stealth mission in Grand Theft Auto 5, where he looked at every single entry and exit point and put so many guards and so many restrictions in there that it's basically impossible to get in and out without starting a war, in a church of all places. It's just so misguided. A target that has no replayability, that eliminates freedom of approach, and any opportunity to be clever or in some way creative. It's just the most awful mission and target you could ever come across. And it's true that Hitman 2016 had no shortages of bad targets. But this one easily takes the top spot as the worst target in the entire Hitman trilogy. If you have any suggestions or would like to add one of your own targets to the list, please do so in the comments below. Until next time, this has been WildGold, and thank you oh so very much for watching.